Andy Murray is on centre court this afternoon. He's in pursuit of his third Wimbledon title, but perhaps it's not Andy's serve and volley game we should be paying attention to when he comes up against Dustin Brown.
And researchers at the University of Sussex, they argue it's not aces and killer shots that predict the outcome of a tennis match, but rather paying attention to the pitch of the players' grunts. So here's a little flavour.
Crowd joining in. Well, here to explain more is one of the researchers, Jordan Rain. Hello, Jordan.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well. What did you do? What was the research?
Well, the key finding is that the pitch. We looked at different players when they're winning and when they're losing, and we found that in general, players grunted at a higher pitch when they lost their matches than when they won their matches. That's the key finding.
Who did you look at?
I can't, unfortunately, disclose that information specifically.
Of course you can. Come on.
No, ethics dictates that I can't. But I can tell you that we looked at 14 of the top 30 players in the men's and women's game. So these were top players.
So this is relative, if you like, to the last time they were grunting. And,
yes.
And it was relative to the time they grunted when they were winning as opposed to losing.
Exactly. So we're not showing that we can predict the winner versus the loser of a match in one isolated match. What we're looking at is for each individual player, we look at how they grunted when they were winning and how they grunted when they were losing. So it's about the difference in their pitch versus when they're winning and when they're losing.
Jordan, but players seem to grunt far louder and far more frequently now. Is that because the game's faster? I remember many years ago, I think Jimmy Connors was the only one that gave that kind of weird grunt just before a particularly hard shot.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that girls grunt any more than men. They definitely grunt at a higher pitch.
No, but I just mean people, the players in general, it's a much noisier game.
In general, yeah, I mean, for me, the main reason behind that is because the game has got a lot more, athletic, and people are putting a lot more effort in. So the grunt is that extra way to give that little extra 2% of oomph.
I'm just curious. So you monitored games, and when you were monitoring matches, and you're halfway through the match, you're monitoring this person's grunt compared to how they had grunted.
Yeah.
And they're grunting in a lower fashion, if that's the right way of putting it. You were predicting they would win.
Yes, so I mean we didn't look at previous matches and then predicted new matches on the basis of the previous data. What we did is we took a load of matches and then we had a look at what the average pitch was when they were winning and the average pitch when they were losing, and we found that yes, the pitch was lower when they were losing and lower when they were winning and higher when they were losing. And actually, what's quite interesting is that this difference occurs from the start of matches as opposed to sort of progressively happening throughout the match.
No, hang on. They turn up already grunting in a different way.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. So potentially, what we think is rather than players, losers, for example, feeling the progressive pressure of the scoreboard and winners feeling progressively more confident, that it could be longer term factors at play that manifest before matches begin. So potentially things like head-to-head record with the opponent, world ranking, recent form, injury and fatigue. These could all influence the stress that a person feels and how dominant they feel. And we know that stress and perceived dominance actually influence the pitch of our voices. So this could be what's going on.
We're all going to watch Wimbledon with a much different eye now. But can I ask, Jordan, why did you start this research? Who decided, let's go and measure the grunts of tennis players?
Well, I'm actually an avid tennis player and watcher myself. So it was part of my wider PhD, which is looking at non-verbal vocalizations as a whole. But as someone who really loves playing and watching tennis, this was right up my street because it means that I can understand it from an evolutionary standpoint, but also from a tennis perspective, which I think is quite important as well.
Very deep and brilliant, if I might say so. Come on. Jordan Rain. That was fascinating, wasn't it? They turn up already grunting.